I mean, I was told by my film professor, there are films and there are movies. And sometimes you've got to know what you're walking into.
Yeah. See, but I come from a time when movies were films.
Alien Romulus is the new science fiction horror that everyone seems to be talking about and everyone's pretty excited about. Came out on August 16th, and I was very excited to go see it. Directed by Fede Alverez, who directed Don't Breathe and also Evil Dead. Written by Fede Alverez and Rodo Sayagayas, and also based on characters by Dan O'Bannon. The cinematography here is done by Galo Ovaria, who did Roma as well, a very good movie. Also, the music for this film is done by Benjamin Wallfish, who's a very good composer, did music for Blade Runner, also The Flash from last year. Great composer, done a lot of good stuff. He's definitely up there on my list for great composers. Now, as for Alien Romulus, what was my expectations for the film going into it? Well, it's safe to say I definitely had some high things to think about the movie. I was definitely very excited for it. I had a lot of high hopes for it. I thought it would be the second best film of the year. Obviously, Dune Part 2 will not be topped, but I thought that it had a good chance of being number 2, number 3, maybe number 4 even on the year. So, high expectations. I'm not the biggest fan of the franchise, but I'm still a fan of science fiction, sci-fi horror. It's all fun. It's all incredible. Alien franchise, incredibly iconic. A lot of great films in general that has been made because of Alien. So yeah, I had a lot of good stuff to think about it. Love the franchise, love the director, love the cast, really young cast in here. Also Ridley Scott involved in this. His name is attached to this film as well, producing, not directing, but still, he's here as well. So I thought to myself, hey, Alien Romulus could be a great movie. I can't wait to see it. And of course, since my job is me having to see every single film, I saw the film on Sunday in IMAX. The best way to watch any kind of movie, no matter what genre it is, watch any movie in IMAX. Happy I did. Watched Alien Romulus in IMAX, and it's safe to say that I definitely did enjoy it. It's not as good as I thought it would be. I thought it would be at least like a 9 out of 10, 9.5 out of 10, but it's still a solid movie. It's still very good. Had a whole ton of fun with it. It's a great movie. Overall, really solid. I definitely recommend you go see it. But I'll go ahead and dive into what I really loved about it, what I hated about it, and also just go ahead and rank all the Alien movies as well. A little bit of a bonus thing there for you. So it's a little bit of a more stacked day than usual. Reviewing Alien Romulus, then going into the ranking for all the Alien movies, not including the Alien vs. Predator. I don't think those are even canon, so I'm not even going to touch them, not going to talk about them. Never seen them, never will. I don't get paid enough to go see those movies, so who cares about Alien vs. Predator? It's all about the main timeline stuff here. So that's what we're going to go into. There's only like 7 films in this franchise, so I figured just do it in one episode. Who cares? Just get it out, banged out here in one episode, and get you on with your life to do other fun stuff besides listening to me talk about Alien for like 30 minutes. Okay, so before I go ahead and dive into what I didn't think was that good about Alien Romulus, I'll go ahead and dive into my pros for the film. Pros for the movie, it did a lot good here. I mean, the two things that I don't like with the movie are really big, but there's more pros than cons that I have for the film right now. Going into the biggest pro for the movie, really the biggest highlight for the entire film, is the production for this movie. This is one of the best productions of the entire year, if not the entire decade. It's incredible. I mean, really, really high quality, a finished movie with great CGI, great visual effects, great practical effects as well, great set design, costume design, hair, makeup, all that fun stuff. It's all here. It's all really, really good, really well thought out. So much love and care put into the production for this movie, and it's something that I really had to mention. I mean, the thing that really drew me into this film was the trailer, obviously, and the trailer just having one, great music, but also just great cinematography, great production, and also just looked really well made. It looked like a really well made, finished movie, which is pretty rare nowadays for movies like The Flash. Had a budget of $300 million, and it was really bad. Also, Furiosa, that's more of like a stylistic choice from the director of Furiosa, but still, Furiosa, high budget. Everyone was always saying Furiosa looks good, but the CGI doesn't look that great. Although in this movie, Alien Romulus, it's a completely different thing here. The quality of this movie, the value of it is just so beautiful, all for a budget of $80 million. It's really impressive how they're doing this much with just a little money. I mean, you're probably saying, hey, whoa, $80 million? How is that even like a little bit of money? It's like a lot of money. $80 million is a lot of money. No, I mean, yeah, sure, it is $80 million, a lot more than I'll ever make my entire life. But still, $80 million compared to Captain America, Brave New World, budget of $300 million. Well, not really a budget. You just kind of spent $300 million and wasted that much money on it. That's, showing that, hey, movies don't need to be made for that much money. You can do it for a lot less, make a whole lot of money, as we're seeing in the box office right now, and fans will love it. It's going to get some good reception a little bit. And yeah, the film is, great production, and also it is very small movie. It's very basic, really kind of narrow in its scope. It is very broad with a great spectacle, with great cool concepts with an alien universe on an alien movie, but it is at times feeling like an $80 million student film. And the whole $80 million student film is something that is really good and also really not good as well. It's kind of like how last year, same studio, 20th Century Studios, or 20th Century Fox, now 20th Century Studios. It's, kind of like how last year with The Creator, that movie was $80 million as well, shot with a $4,000 camera, with a bunch of Academy Award and a bunch of award-nominated people behind the camera, yet it felt like an $80 million student film, which was really cool and really fun, kind of a guerrilla warfare style shooting, so nothing was really exactly planned, yet at the same time, the film wasn't that great either. This movie, no different. $80 million student film. Everyone clearly really does care about the movie, yet it does kind of have this feeling of incomplete. I'm not really fulfilled by the end of it, but at the same time, the passion's still there. I still love what they're doing about it. I can tell by just the quality of the movie, just how much everyone involved with this film loves the franchise and loves the characters and loves the concept of Alien. And another thing that's, in Hollywood, it feels like, a lot of franchises, you have a lot of spin-offs and reboots and just rehashing of everything we've ever seen before, yet they're doing it for more money and to be, pandering, very woke. This movie is not that, it is a legacy prequel kind of thing, yet it is very authentic to itself. It's trying to tell its own story and be very added to the Alien franchise, which I really, really love. Also, what's really, really good is the horror for the movie. I'm not really that big of a horror fan. I don't watch a lot of horror films. I do have some favorites, but I'm not that much of a horror guru. Never seen Chainsaw Man, never seen Friday the 13th, and never even seen Scream. So I'm not the biggest horror guy, but I have to admit the horror for this film is done pretty well. Fede Alverez is known for being a very good horror director, from Evil Dead to Don't Breathe. He's cooked immensely with this genre. This movie, no different. The whole movie, I guess, has some fun tension stuff in there. Not exactly the scariest thing ever, but, if you've been on social media, you've definitely seen the last 30 minutes of the film are very, very scary. That's very horrifying to go through, and especially seeing it in IMAX, those last 30 minutes, it's terrifying to see. I mean, it's really just terrifying. It's absolutely horrific to watch, and it's really the most horror that you'll see in the entire year. In addition to a great production and great horror, the themes for the film are really, really good here. It is, like I said, a legacy sequel, so new cast with a lot of younger people, yet the film is doing a really good job at making a great drama and a great story first to build off the horror, which is done really well here. I mean, Kaylee Spaney, David Johnson, Elizabeth Merced, there's a lot of incredible talent throughout this entire film. Kaylee Spaney on an absolute generational level run with how many movies she's showing up in right now, from Priscilla last year to Civil War this year. Next year she'll be in the new Knives Out movie, now Alien as well. She's just absolutely incredibly talented. Also, David Johnson, I saw him in Rylane earlier this year. David Johnson, Rylane, he's incredible. I'm happy that he's now getting the recognition he deserves, because he's really an incredible, incredible actor. This is definitely going to be his real breakout role, one that a lot of people are going to see a lot more than Rylane. Rylane, really good movie. I definitely recommend you watch that. A lot better than this as well, but a beautiful screenplay, beautiful romance. Rylane, definitely watch it, but him in that movie, really good. Him in this movie, no different. He's such an incredible actor. He's just doing things so well. He fits the role like a glove. He's really good in this role with this character. It's awesome. And also everyone else in this cast, they're all really young, all really, really good here. And that's really it. We only have 5 main actors in the film, and that's really it. Very small cast, not a lot of that, big major cast here. Not really needed either, but still keeps the film very tight, very contained, very intimate, which makes it really elevate to a new level. But as for the themes, it takes the cast and really the sense of this movie being a newer Alien for younger audiences, for a new generation, and takes that and really does apply things that younger generation, people like, Gen Z people like myself, struggle with, with, the government and, the world trying to make us work till we're 80 and, retire at 90 years old and not really live our life. It really does take those themes and brings them here. A lot of just themes about youth and just growing up and also coming of age and brotherhood and sisterhood and family. It's all really sad, all really, really good as well. It's done really well. once again, weaving all those themes here, it really does establish it being its own film first and then an Alien film second, which I really enjoy, makes it really good. Also, kind of makes it struggle a little bit, as I'll talk about a little bit later here. But what it does here with its themes makes it its own movie first. It makes it a good movie on its own, that without Alien, these themes in this story are still very, very interesting to watch and sit through. That makes me kind of like it a little bit more. And also, like I mentioned before, and with everything that I mentioned previously kind of culminating together here, this movie just is showing that it's not just a cash grab for the Alien franchise. It is truly authentic. It's very additive to what they're doing with the overarching story, the overarching Alien narrative, and the overarching Alien franchise. They are adding to that with this movie. It's not like they're pulling from the past, pulling from Sigourney Weaver back in Alien 1960-something, in Aliens from James Cameron, and just really hashing on the nostalgia aspect of everything. It's instead, I think, pulling from the past still, but making something new that they can really say this is our own movie and something that's new for the Alien franchise. And they're not reinventing the wheel in any way, but they are just finding a new way to push it in a more authentic way, in a way that they can tell and that can feel that they really do love this world, love these characters, love these monsters in this movie and in this world, and they only want to make it good for the audience. So already, regardless of my score, if it goes up, if it goes down, this is still, I think, one of the best films of the entire year for what it's doing for the franchise, what it's doing for the entire world, and really just you in the audience, how you're going to feel from it is you're going to feel like it's a movie that really they thought should have been made, and they definitely did the best that they can to make it really good. So those are my pros for the film. The film's good. It's really good. It's solid. I recommend you go see it. Now for my cons, I only have like 2 or 3 here, but they're really, really important for just what makes the film really not that good, what makes it hold back, and what makes people like me who had high expectations for the movie not really enjoy it. I'll just go ahead and just really start by prefacing and saying that I'm not the biggest Alien fan in the world. I'm not a diehard Alien fan. I watched Alien and Aliens last year for the first time, and this year, like last week, I binged everything for the first time ever. So yeah, I'm not the biggest fan in the world, but I still love the franchise. I'm still a fan of it. But, I'm not the biggest diehard, so I don't really know a lot about the lore exactly, but I do still have expectations as a fan for what they could have done and could have done better. So going into it here, and it's really only one critique, I guess, that I really have, is that I felt incomplete and really just unfulfilled after I got out of the theater after seeing Alien Romulus. And I wasn't really sure why. I was confused as to why I felt like the film just didn't satisfy me. It didn't really do a good job. It felt like it should have been a little bit more. It felt like a little bit too bare bones. And I was just really thinking to myself, what was really missing from the film? It really had everything that it could have had. Had a great cast, great score, great cinematography, great directing, great set design. Overall, it's good. I mean, the screenplay isn't the most exciting, but it is, a very Alien kind of screenplay, pretty simple. But I was wondering to myself, why do I feel this feeling of like I'm incomplete? Why does the film feel like it's, not really done yet? And it was hard to answer because the film, like I said, it has everything that it needs to have and it does it all really well. So what was the thing that made it feel incomplete? And I think that I may have the answer. This may change, but I think just because it doesn't really feel like its own movie at all. I mean, the best aspects of the movie is in the last 30 minutes. Like I said, the last 30 minutes are the best horror maybe of the entire year. And the last 30 minutes isn't exactly even Alien. Not really going to spoil it. I'm going to try not to. The last 30 minutes of the film aren't exactly an Alien movie, which is what makes it really good, makes it really creative. Yet before that, the movie, I've been seeing a lot here, feels very cookie cutter, feels really safe, feels like more of like an Alien and Aliens remastered into one movie. And, that's not the best thing in the world. That kind of makes it feel like I've seen the film before. It's not doing anything exactly new, and I'm really just underwhelmed by what they did with it. And, once again, the film is good. Like I said, great CGI. It's a finished movie. Overall, I mean, all these aspects are here for what should be a great film, yet the film just needed like one little push of it being its own film, having its own distinct taste and feel to it to make it really a memorable movie. I mean, that very well could be it. Maybe I'll rewatch it and say, hey, maybe that's not the thing that made it bad. But for right now, I do think that the film just is a little bit too safe for an Alien movie. It feels like I've seen it before, and it doesn't really feel like its own thing that really makes it distinct in the franchise. And the franchise as a whole, I'll talk about a little bit later here in a second when I rank all of them, but the franchise, it isn't exactly like, anything crazy, but all the movies in this franchise are distinct and different in their own way. The good and the bad are all very different movies that tell their own story and tell them in a different way, really making it a true anthology series. But with this movie, it is doing its own thing, but it's not doing it in a way that's like trying to be different. It's more so trying to please fans and really give them an Alien and Aliens Remastered, which isn't a bad thing, but at the same time, it feels kind of bland. It feels kind of meh. It feels like you didn't really try. You more so just copied your brother's homework from like 20 years ago. And, you know, I've also seen some different comparisons from people to this movie being compared to Force Awakens from, you know, Star Wars Force Awakens. And that's really fair to say. And it's also something that's kind of good and also kind of sad. I mean, me, I love Force Awakens. I'll be a Force Awakens defender for the rest of my life. Why do I love Force Awakens? It's A New Hope remastered, which is the biggest critique of the movie. This is just A New Hope, but it's literally just remastered in 2017, which, you know, isn't the worst thing in the world. Why should I hate A New Hope remastered? And the same things here. The movie is more like an Alien and Aliens Remastered. Really does profit off nostalgia as well, which is another completely different thing that I don't really like about it. It really does, you know, profit off of you knowing the franchise and really knowing some characters. Mainly one character in the movie that pops up from the previous films, which I don't like at all. But the movie is good, but it does kind of feel like it's more of a remastering, a rehashing of different concepts merged into one movie, which, you know, is good, is fun, but, you know, it could have been a little bit better. So yeah, that's my review for the movie for right now. Things can change down the line. I may rewatch it and love it, and I may higher up my score, may lower my score a little bit, but for right now, that's where it sits. The movie is good. It definitely did a good job, but, you know, it could have been a little bit better, a little bit too safe, a little bit too cookie cutter. Also, the film just at times isn't that good, a little bit too slow burn, but, you know, still, overall, it's a good movie. My final score for the film is a C+. It passed the test. It is a pass. I mean, C+ is a passing score, not the craziest score in the world. It's not a B or an A, but still, the film did pass at what it was supposed to do. Maybe not the best thing in the world, but hey, look, you did still pass the test, so you can't really blame them. Can't be too mad at them. So my final thing to say is go see the movie for yourself. Go form your own opinion. Tell me that I'm wrong. Tell me that I'm right, maybe. I don't know. But hey, let me know what you thought made the movie just not that good and really could have been better. But yeah, that's the final score, C+. Go see it. You may love it. You may hate it. But, you know, only you are the real critic of your own opinion. So go let me know what you think. Okay, but with all of that main Alien Romulus stuff out of the way, we're going to go ahead and just rank all these movies here. There's only 7 films. There's a pretty short list here. But, you know, the main Alien Anthology, all of the main canon here, none of the old, weird Alien vs. Predator spinoffs, just the main thing here, the main series, that's it, nothing else. So, only 7 films, going from worst to best here. So, go ahead and start right now. This full list, I'll leave up on Letterboxd for a little bit if you want to just see what it is. I may change it too by the time you see it, but, you know, for right now, this is where it sits. Pretty short franchise, but, you know, one that's also, like, really, really good overall. A lot of fun stuff here. At least one of these films I think is really good. And, you know, maybe it's one of the older ones, maybe it's one of the prequel series stuff, but, you know, I'll let you decide. But as for me, this is my ranking. So at number 7, I have Alien Cubed, and Alien Cubed is the worst film within the entire franchise. One of the biggest disgraces in an entire franchise in cinematic history. The, you know, just transfer from Aliens to Alien 3 is disgraceful. It's disgusting. It should never happened. I mean, even David Fincher admits this film just isn't what it should have been, and that's okay if he admits that it's bad. David Fincher, still a goat, but this is like, you know, side of its history, side of its past that we kind of just brush under the rug in the film space here. So, you know, David Fincher, Alien Cubed, 1992, worst alien movie ever. Disgrace. It's terrible. It's disgusting. Not exactly god awful. It's only like a 3 out of 5 for me, but still should never happen, should never existed. At number 6, I have Alien Resurrection from 1997. This one is better. It's not exactly incredible, but still, you know, Sigourney Weaver with Winona Ryder from 1997. That's a very nice peak for celebrity crushes for me. Winona Ryder, 1997. That's up there for me now. Didn't know it would be, but it is. But Alien Resurrection also shouldn't have really happened, but it's a weird bookend to the character that didn't really need to happen. They did a bookend for the character back in the previous film in Alien Cubed, and now they're doing it again in Alien Resurrection, which shouldn't have happened. Feels dumb. At this point in the series is really starting to drag on here with the Alien franchise. They shouldn't have done a lot of these films here with Alien Resurrection, Alien Cubed. For some reason they did. Shouldn't have, but whatever. It's fine. Moving on to a number 5 spot, I have Alien Romulus. most recent film, just talked about it. It's good, not great. I would recommend it, but it's just fine for me for right now. It's not a bad film, but not good for me either. Could go up or down within the next few weeks, but I'll see. At number 4, I have Alien Covenant 2017, Ridley Scott. This one is really good. I love Covenant so much. Love both these prequel films, but Alien Covenant is really cool concepts, really just a whole lot of fun. And something that I feel like is a perfect example of what I mean by Alien Romulus should have been more of its own movie. Something that's really, really cool is like with Covenant and also Prometheus, both those films are in the same trilogy, the prequel trilogy, yet both of them are truly just distinct films, even though they're both like attached to each other. Alien Covenant is a really cool movie because it's like its own little thing here. You can just watch Covenant if you want to and still understand it a little bit and still have a lot of fun with it. Really cool, really interesting, really cool designs, great effects, great CGI. Ridley Scott was really cooking with this trilogy. Wish Disney never canceled it, but whatever, we'll move on. In our number 3 spot, I have Prometheus. This film is really just really, really cool. It's really the origin for all this alien stuff here, and one that I didn't think we really needed. I mean, this movie isn't even exactly an alien film. The xenomorph isn't even in Prometheus. So right there off the bat, I thought to myself, xenomorph not being in an alien movie, the movie about alien not having the alien side of it should be mid, it should be bad, it shouldn't really exist even. But Prometheus is a pleasant surprise. It's very cool. It's one of the best sci-fi films, I think, of the last 20 years. Maybe not the best, but I think really one of the most interesting in terms of what it's doing here. It really being its own movie, having its own fun little concept here, and them doing it in a really cool way. It's just a whole lot of fun. I recommend Prometheus, recommend Covenant. Both those movies, the real prequel stuff here is fun, really interesting. If you're tired of the whole, cat and mouse alien stuff here with these previous films, then watch the prequel series. It's really cool. Only 2 films as well. Don't need to know that much about the franchise, and it's one that's really, really interesting. Whole lot of fun. As for number 2, it's maybe science fiction action at its best here. Aliens, 1986, James Cameron. Enough said. Speaks for itself. It's really good. It's really incredible. The action's top notch. A lot of fun moments, a lot of fun characters as well. The ending's incredible. Sadly, Alien Cubed ruined everything. But, I don't even want to talk about that. Really bad. But Aliens, James Cameron, it's good. Go watch it. It's a whole lot of fun. Not exactly 4.5 out of 5 fun, but 4 out of 5 fun. 8 out of 10. It's a B. Passes once again. It's a great one. It's a plus. And then at number 1, I have Alien. Obviously, I mean, this is science fiction horror at its absolute best. 1979, Ridley Scott. Look, enough said about it. Go watch Alien if you haven't already. 1979, true, I don't think a masterpiece, more like 9 out of 10, but still, great one. A really good benchmark for, once again, American cinema. This one, we also have Star Wars, etc., 2001: Space Odyssey, but this one for science fiction is just really incredible. Really showing, once again, sci-fi should be taken seriously. It's something that really can be a really cool concept for movies. And, it's great. I mean, that's all I can really say about it. Alien, it's a classic, iconic, enough said about it. But that is really everything for this episode here. So once again, I'll just go ahead and go through my Alien Anthology ranking once again. If you happen to forget, we have, and right now at least, this could change like next week, but right on is where it's sitting. Number 7, worst alien movie, Alien Cubed. Number 6, Resurrection. Number 5, most recent, Romulus. 4, Covenant. 3, Prometheus. 2, Aliens. And then number 1, obviously the masterpiece, Alien, 1979. Just go watch all these movies and the whole entire franchise. I love them. There's not an alien movie that I hate. I mean, like I said, Alien Cubed just isn't good, but still, Alien Cubed, really fun. I really think it's really cool and fun time to go through. There's not a single alien film that I think is exactly bad. I mean, there are films that I do think, hey, could have been better, could have been just a better time, but still, every single alien movie is good to an extent in its own right. Every alien film is fun. The franchise is fun and really one of my favorites now. So that's it. Alien's great. Alien Romulus, on the other hand, 7 out of 10, C+. Go see it if you want to. You don't really need to, but hey, form your own opinion and let me know what you think. But that'll do it for today. That's it for this episode. As for next week, I'm not sure what we're going to do. May do, I don't know, Meet the Robinsons or Over the Hedge or Chicken Little or Toy Story. I don't know. Who knows what we're going to do next. But until next time we talk to you guys, stay swagged out, stay cool. Follow us everywhere, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, whatever, all that other fun stuff in there as well. And until next time I talk to you guys, obviously, like I always say, stay swagged out, stay cool, watch more movies, and as always, I'm Russ Logan. I'll see you guys in the movies.